2 first-time winners in 3 races is not a bad strike rate. Are there any more waiting in the wings to make it 3 out of 4? We'll find out soon as we get ready for the Porsche Sprint Challenge North America Cayman Series by Yokohama. I'm Joe Peak, and with me in the booth is former racer Joey Atterbury and sports car racer Ashley Freiberg. Joey, we've been finding out that Road Atlanta lets nobody rest for a minute out here.
It is a fantastic facility, and speaking of, let's take a look at the track map that we've got here at Road Atlanta. 2.5 miles and 12 turns of a roller coaster-like track. Turn number 1, very, very fast, and it leads you up the hill into a blind overcrest turn number 3, which then you plummet down. The S is always a great camera angle shot. Turn number 7, one of the most important corners because it leads you out onto that long back straightaway, which feeds you into turn number 10. The biggest brake zone we've got, also the best passing opportunity. And after 10, it is up and over the hill through turn number 12 and down through start finish.
You can see we're heading around on our pace laps as the drivers prepare here early in the morning. So why don't we go through our starting grid for today's race with Jens Hansen on the pole once again, and Erica Hoffman for her second time this weekend starting outside. She took a victory yesterday, her first in the series. Keith Grant from third as Lonnie will flank him on the outside second row. Then it's going to be Checky starting in P5. David Grant will be outside starting from 6. Spencer Proper starts 7th today. And then you've got David Grant starting in it was Bill Finnick actually starting from 6th position out there. In the meantime, it will be Cody Knight rather, that will be starting from the 9th position. And then Elaine Scalzo will begin from P10, a bit far down for him. Gary Bufkin starts in the 11th position. Bill Pelichewski in P12. And we get off to the next row, and it is Joe Rizzo starting from lucky number 13. Roland Crines will be in the 14th position. As we head to row number 8, it is Rob Trollinger starting 15th. Reggie Tartaglione in the Pro Sport car starting from 16th position. And then we've got Dan Ammon and Greg Checky, but it looks like neither of them will be able to start this race, unfortunately. Early morning races. Did you prefer these, or Ashley, when you were in the car, or did you like it to be a little bit later in the day? How do you feel about having to get up early to go racing?
I mean, I'm always down to wake up and get right to the racetrack. And the cool thing about running first thing in the morning is that the temperatures are really nice. So they qualified about this time yesterday. It's about 65 degrees outside, but the sun is shining. So nice cool air to really pump a lot of horsepower into these amazing Porsche engines, and then a lot of warm sunshine on the track to heat up your Yokohama tires really well. So it's kind of perfect track conditions to get the most performance out of these cars.
Now, both of our championships in Masters and Pro-Am are decided here in the Caymans, Joey, but in the Pro-Am, Lonnie Unser, Anna Checky, there's 12 points between them, and this is the last race, and they were nose to tail all race long. I'm looking forward to seeing them try to decide that P2.
It'll be a fantastic fight between Lonnie as well as Anna Checky out there. Erica Hoffman as well. I mean, talk about a great story yesterday with her capturing her first win here in the series. So you're right. I think Anna, Lonnie, Erica, all the females in this series, they're really kind of proving a point this year.
Just been great performances, lots of podiums, and 2 wins that we've got witnessed between Lonnie and Erica. Could Erica maybe go back-to-back? Jens Hansen's going to be tough to beat as he looked to be quickest yesterday. They're getting ready for the green flag as they come down 2 by 2, and there it is. Green flag is out as we accelerate towards turn 1. Good start for Hoffman, but that is Grant trying to go up the inside, and he just about gets his nose underneath, but Erica will cut him off. Oh, and the problem with Anna Checky, a car off into the wall. Another one tries to avoid. It looks like we might have a yellow flag almost immediately, as that was big damage.
Yeah, I think that was a car trying to sneak up the inside and made contact, I believe, with Lonnie Unser. So we're still green flag on the racetrack for now. That car is stopped out there in the tire wall on the exit of turn number 1. Jens Hansen currently leads over Erica Hoffman.
Man, that was really, really tough there. I'm a little bit worried. I hope Lonnie didn't get any rear damage there on her left rear tire, so we'll see. Hopefully she's still good to go. Looks like her car is running okay.
Do see Anna Checki, and I suspected it looks like that was Bill Fennick also involved in that incident. They're letting them try to just get the cars a little bit into position, since I'm assuming they've determined there's no real danger, and now they're finally throwing the full course yellow now that the cars have gotten pretty single file. It'll be nice and easy to get them in the correct order. On board with Bill Pelichewski, managed to make his way through that excitement, and thankfully everybody slows up in time as we start to see safety vehicles emerge onto the track.
Yeah, that was a little nervous there for our race leader, having call it a 10,000-pound vehicle cut out right in front of him on the racetrack before the safety vehicle even is out there. So that, I'm sure Jens Hansen caught his attention, but thankfully he is always so smart out there and was able to navigate his way around. This is that stranded car of Bill Fennick, and you got a feel for this one. I think that Bill was kind of on the outside of turn number one, and was kind of collected in this one for sure.
Yeah, just not many places to go. He had managed to work his way up into second in the championship. This allows Bill Pelichewski a chance to try to fight back on him. Bill came in at 496 points. Fennick was at 557, so it's a huge gap, but we do have a lot of Masters drivers here today, so I'll have to try and check the math to see if it's possible to get in there.
So, looks like the Anna Checki car has hit pit road, and I see damage on the left side of it, the left fender as well as the left door. So I think that was the other car that was definitely involved. And then we're riding on board with Lonnie Unser. And Ashley, like you said, she actually had a little bit of contact as well. So it seems like everything is okay. I'm looking at the steering wheel, and there's no vibrations. There's no shaking. It seems to be tracking straight. So it looks to be okay.
Yeah, usually what happens in these scenarios is if you get wheel-to-wheel contact, it could slightly move that left or right rear tire out of alignment. So yeah, it looks okay, so we'll see how this goes.
I hope Anna's car, as it gets some inspections, is able to be sent back out to try and race. She's still on the lead lap right now. We might get a second look at this incident. So coming down into turn one, we're looking at the yellow and white car. That's Fennick to the outside. She sends it pretty far, and oh yeah, she just gets into the grass. And Bill sees the accident coming, has little time to try and decide, and unfortunately it looks like he becomes a bit of an innocent victim.
Yeah, it was a little bit of an ambitious move, and like you said, Fennick just kind of an innocent along for the ride out there in turn number one. Definitely an unfortunate way to kind of kick this one off, but I do see that yellow and white 27 going back out on the racetrack, which is a good sign.
Oh, glad to see that. I want to see her try to be able to finish this race. It is going to be tough because it looked like there was some significant body damage on the front left, Ashley, but at least she'll stay on the lead lap.
Yeah, that was definitely a tough scenario there. It looked like she thought maybe she had a gap there to get by Lonnie, but it just happened a bit too late, and Lonnie was already committed to that apex. So, you know, definitely just a learning experience, and it's good she's able to get back out there and get back to it.
So as we ride on board with Lonnie, that is still Keith Grant that is in front of her, running third overall, but he is our Masters leader right now. Hansen leading the overall ahead of Hoffman. He would probably like this one to get going and try and run away like he was looking like last time. Unfortunately had a bit of a mechanical problem that cost him the race win. So trying to make up for that. And let me double check here. Yeah, that was the first time all season that Jens had not finished on the podium here in Sprint Challenge. He has been absolutely flawless otherwise, as we see it looks like Bill Fennick's car getting retrieved.
Yeah, I think that so turn number one is pretty rapid here at Road Atlanta. And if you do go off, whether you're helped off, whether you drive it off yourself, usually it's a relatively large impact. But I love seeing all of the fans that we've got here. This is an open weekend. We've got fans scattered about Road Atlanta, so you can really kind of pick the best opportunity to come out here and watch the best racing.
Well, you guys have been here much more than I have. What do you think is the best spot to go and watch from?
Well, we were talking the outside turn number 1 is always fun to watch the cars really balance themselves because it's so fast through turn number 1. But I think that if you're looking for action, probably turn 5 and turn 10, right? There's good viewing areas outside of both of those corners, and both of them are pretty ambitious in how you have to approach those corners.
All right. We'll keep an eye out, see if a lot of fans start to
this right
there.
here. This is the fan section over by turn 10 on the outside. Call it 10B over there, and a fantastic view of these Porsche doing 160 miles an hour before they jump on the brake down there to turn 10.
I had to say we had a shot a bit ago. Someone had arranged their own DIY stadium seating on the back of their truck. That was really cool.
It kind of reminded me of Sebring. I don't know if
there
it is. There we go. There's the fans out there with their own seating on the back of the pickup truck. Even got the Porsche flag. We see ya.
Yeah. That is awesome. Glad to have the fans out here this weekend. Hoping to put on a good show for you. But we'll get racing here shortly. Just need to make sure that the track is safe before we get going. If you missed yesterday, definitely had some drama. Like we've been saying, Erica Hoffman took her first win. But, I mean, what a phenomenal job she did to take that victory as well. Because you look at the pressure that Lonnie put on her, Ashley, and, I mean, Erica came out shining from that test.
Yeah, for sure. It's really exciting to see her growth this season. This is her first time in Sprint Challenge, so really, really cool to see her come out here and win a race. And it was definitely not easy. Lonnie was right up in her meet. It was interesting watching those two battle it out. There were areas where Lonnie definitely had a bit more pace, and then Erica would gap a little bit. So it was definitely really fun racing yesterday.
So we'll restart with 15 cars once we get the green flag going here in a moment. Lonnie's going to definitely want to try and get by Grant to try and catch up with Hoffman. She's still on the podium right now. Meanwhile, Scalzo, he started, my goodness, he was down in 11th, I think it was, on the start of this race, and he's all the way up to 6th. So Lane Scalzo did a great job of siding through that opening incident.
There was some chaos in front of him and racecraft. I always think that Scalzo is one of our faster, more aggressive drivers in these Cayman GT4s, and he's got excellent racecraft out there. And so, yeah, he took advantage of the schmozzle down there in turn number 1 and picked up a handful of positions. And now he's looking at only Grant in the number 40 car that's a couple spots in front of him in terms of that same class, that Masters class, when we talk about the Cayman class here. This is Bill Pelichowski in the number 62. I know that I believe he had a little bit of an issue in qualifying yesterday, right? And then they were able to bounce back, get it back out on there on the racetrack, and actually had a terrific race yesterday.
Yeah, doing a very good job out here considering the setback that he had in that qualifying session. Some unfortunate news for fans of the 27 car. They have been given a stop plus 60. So they'll be sent down pit lane and be held in their pit stall for 60 seconds, sadly, once we get going back to green. This is on board with Gary Buffkin. And Gary finished, let's see, he took a top 5 last time out. In fact, yeah, he's had 4 straight top 5s in the last 4 races that he's run in this series. So Gary's on a good string of results.
We see the car is up on the flatbed in turn number 1, so I think they just kind of had to pull the nose out of the tires in order to get that flatbed angled up properly to get the car up on it. So now that it is on the safety vehicle, they should be able to strap it down securely and move everything off of the racetrack. And fingers crossed here, maybe in the next lap, maybe next 2, should get a green flag.
Riding on board with Erica. There's Jens just in front. I was talking about the impressive results that Jens has had this season. He's had 3 second places in the meantime, 2 of them at Sonoma. 1, he was beat by Danny Jaschelski, which with the speed that we've seen Danny have, I don't think he should feel too ashamed of that. I think he had a penalty in one of them, and then obviously had a poor restart at Watkins Glen. Other than that, I mean, Jens Hansen, the string of first places has just been really amazing. This has been a well-earned championship.
It's very impressive that he's able to come to every single racetrack and maintain that, call it top 2 in the speed out of everybody out here. It looks like Bill Fennick is making his way around the racetrack, but unfortunately not the way that he wants to with his car. The flatbed has officially got it picked up. You can see the damage on the front left of that machine, so they'll get it back to the paddock and get to work on that vehicle. But I want to go back to yesterday, Erica Hoffman. I mean, you had kind of touched on it a few minutes ago, Joe, but just an absolutely terrific job to get her first win. She had so much pressure, and not only that, she was keeping up with Jens Hansen for a fair amount in that race, so she kept him honest, especially in the first half, and then she was close enough that when that failure actually did happen in the 12, she was there to take advantage, and then she was able to hold on from there. So I think it was a well-earned victory for Erica.
Yeah, and I mean, like you were saying, there was cars close behind her, so when something did happen to Jens's car, essentially she was in the right position. She didn't just roll over when she had all that pressure
Correct.
from behind, and knew that, this could be important later on, so might as well try to keep as far up the order as possible.
And it looks like, Joe, the safety car lights are out, so we should be going back green this time.
Love to see that. Okay, so we're going to 20 minutes plus a lap instead of our 35 minutes plus a lap we typically have here in Sprint Challenge. It'll be a super sprint this time. But our drivers are up to the task, and we'll try to get those tires back up to temperature once again here in this beautiful morning down in Georgia. And the safety car is already pulled away. Now, the big difference here between the main start and a restart is the main start, they must wait for the green flag before Hansen can go. Here, he gets to decide, and it looks like he's decided out of the final chicane because the safety car is, in fact, in, and they are at speed as they barrel down the last corner and towards the start-finish line. Green flag is out, and we race towards turn 1. Very single file compared to our double file start here, so a little bit more sensible into the first corner, and everybody gets out the other side.
Hansen, our leader, does a nice job through turn number 1, has actually gapped it out maybe a couple car lengths over the initial start, but then that 21 really aggressive up and over turn number 3 starts to eat in a little bit of that track position back down through the S's. And remember, this is kind of the second time, but you're up to temperature. Oh, that was a little bit shallow in there from the number 40 of Grant. Let's see if it costs some time on the exit.
While he does have Pro-Am cars behind him, Scalzo only is behind Proper. So that's 2 vehicles acting as a buffer for the number 40. Keith Grant will not want to let them through that easily if he can help it, because he wants to go for back-to-back wins this weekend. A train up at the front from second on back, just stringing out of turn 7, where everybody's looking to get the slipstream down the back straightaway.
And this will be the first time that these cars and drivers are at speed this morning, going down into this brake zone. Remember, 160 miles an hour is what these Cayman GT4s are doing in terms of that top speed. Looks like everybody's got everything up to temperature. They make their way through 10A and 10B.
Back up and across the hill once again. Hansen in control of this race. He's only ahead by 0.7 of a second, but he is out of range for Erica Hoffman down into turn 1 this time. Lonnie Unser probably trying to size up Keith Grant, figure out where she can try and sneak by to put the screws to Erica Hoffman to try to take that second place away. Up into turn 3 once again as the field hits this difficult blind corner once again, and then they fly back downhill.
A similar line between our top 2 from what we saw on that opening restart. So Jens Hansen a little bit more gentle on that turn 3, call it apex curb, while Hoffman is taking all of it and really kind of slinging the car through there. And now it's going to be Keith Grant starting to crawl up on the back of that number 21 car. See if he can apply maybe a little bit of pressure. You see only about 1 car length back going into turn number 7. But as we saw yesterday, Erica Hoffman absolutely nails this corner exit.
She has found that to be her strength for quite a bit there. And coming down the back straightaway, Keith Grant, though, finds he's just as strong off of that turn 7 exit, and he starts to gain some ground He looks a little bit to the inside. This is going to be a long way back if he makes this stick, and he does. Keith Grant moves to second overall with that overtake.
That was an aggressive move, but confidence on the brakes moves the number 40 to second place overall. It's almost like a very similar move from what we saw out of Lonnie Unser trying to pass Erica Hoffman yesterday. She is a very respectful racer. She will leave you room at Apex, but she is going to race you tough from Apex on up.
She'll make you work for it, and she is still second in that Pro-Am class, but now Lonnie Unser directly behind her, which could be an issue if she decides she wants to get back for missing a chance last time out to get win number 2. We watch them now head towards turn 5. Grant looked a little squirrely for a moment there.
His car was just a little bit more, call it on the limit, than everybody else around, and you're right, he was kind of moving it around going into turn number 5, but he set a personal fastest sector number 1 time. The only problem, Jens Hansen, our leader, was overall fastest sector 1.
Not too surprising. Jens has a point to prove here. He's not going to leave anything on the table. Already at 2.2 seconds ahead of what is now Keith Grant there in second place. Meanwhile, a little bit behind them, that's Scalzo, Knight, and Buffkin. It looks like Tartaglione might be in that as well.
I was noticing that Pelichowski kind of in that battle. That number 62 car has definitely been making his way forward as well. So, yeah, I think this is Scalzo, Knight, Buffkin, Grant, and like you said, Tartaglione trying to catch up a few seconds back. Rizzo, Pelichowski a little bit further back from there.
Once again, across the start-finish line, this is looking very close for David Grant on Buffkin. Kind of shows himself just a little bit weaving off the racing line, but not a serious attempt down into turn 1. This is between a Pro-Am and a Masters car, but Grant trying to get to Cody Knight up there, who currently sits 5th in that Pro-Am class.
Watch this battle now. This is the one that I was talking about. So this is headed up by Tartaglione, and then Rizzo in that BGB car. He's in that number 24. Pelichowski is in that light blue number 62, and then Anna Cecchi, unfortunately, is 1 lap down in that yellow and white number 27 car. So she is in the mix out here in terms of speed, just unfortunately not for track position.
Yeah, she served the penalty and just...
Oh, there's an aggressive move. That's Pelichowski down the inside. He's been making his way forward. That opens the door also for Anna Cecchi. She's going to slide the car down in there, but talk about aggression on the brakes into turn number 6 from Pelichowski.
Yeah, and while Anna is not racing them for position, she clearly has sights on trying to get back that lead lap if possible. We'll see. Meanwhile, side by side between Rizzo and Crines, looking towards the braking zone, getting very close to one another. And I think that looks like Rizzo, who may have just backed out of it. So the 19 takes P12.
And Ashley, I got to ask you, because you've raced wheel to wheel here so many times, how narrow is that back straightaway when you're side by side coming up over that gentle right-hander going down into 10?
Oh man, it gets pretty gnarly once you start to turn down into the brake zone of turn 10. So it's definitely really narrow, but you just got to keep your eyes up and heads up.
Things are looking pretty close between Lonnie and Hoffman. Also, I saw down the front straightaway, Pelichowski is on the back of Tartaglione already. So Bill, like we said, making up for the poor qualifying, charging his way forward, knowing that Bill Finnick may have left the door open if he could get a good result to try and overtake him for second in the championship. In the meantime, we come off of turn 7, back down the back straightaway once again. Keith Grant starting to run away, but Hoffman and Unser left to fight for P2.
Yeah, not only that, but I believe that Spencer Proper trying to catch the back of that white and purple number 4 car, and it certainly looks like Pelichowski has made his way by Tartaglione. You had just mentioned that he was in a fight there, so move that number 62 up in the top 10.
That's to 4th in class now. And, so top 10 position for him. As you mentioned, it's been a pretty handy couple laps now that we've gone green flag racing. This is our pair battling for P2 in the Pro-Ams. Hoffman in the front with the black and white machine. Unser with the purple and white car down into the first corner, but Unser not close enough to be able to do anything.
And just to kind of start a little bit of a storyline here, Jens Hansen and Keith Grant out front are kind of trading fast lap times. Sometimes it's the number 40, sometimes it's the number 12, but it's starting to come down, now down to 2 seconds.
Keith Grant already took the Masters win last time. I'm sure he'd love an overall win to add to his impressive results here in what little time he's spent in Sprint Challenge. In the meantime, Bufkin versus David Grant also back there up across turn 5. That's Grant in the orange number 29, Bufkin and the multicolored car just in front of him, down into 6 and then up into 7, and not quite there, but certainly looking threatening.
I love these overhead shots here at Road Atlanta, really kind of get the feel of the landscape and how much this track really kind of twists and turns through this red Georgia clay that we've got out here that appears to be home to some groundhogs we found out yesterday.
As we saw, yeah. Not sure if they're awake this early in the morning, but look at this as Cody Knight is starting to become a problem for Elaine Scalzo. Scalzo in the Masters, Knight in the Pro-Am, but Scalzo needs to try and catch up to Keith Grant. And if he gets another car between himself and that leader in the Masters class, that's going to do him no favors.
I want to give a shout out to that number 3, Cody Knight. I think that he had a terrific performance yesterday, and he's not always with us throughout the entire season. So I believe he got the most passes, the Apexin Award, and he's out here doing a nice job as well inside top 5 in his class currently.
Oh, we got a nice little fight into turn 1 once again. Is that Anna trying to get another one away, it looks like?
Yes. Yeah, that's Anna Checki, and I believe this is coming up on, might be Pelichowski. No, this is actually just behind
Tartaglione,
that. Yeah,
I think?
you're
Yeah.
right. Yes.
Yeah, so that's Reggie Tartaglione that she's trying to overtake next with a damaged car. Ooh, I was going to say turn 5 is a risky one. I mean, she's full of beans today, Ashley. I love what I'm seeing, that she's still racing this hard.
It's funny, in some ways she reminds me of me. She doesn't have much fear. She's definitely got some guts, and it's funny seeing her right back to getting really racy and still trying to make the most out of this opportunity.
Well, I mean, it is the last race of the season, so what has she got to lose here? It might as well try and get some more practice in and get some wheel-to-wheel experience. We've been talking about how she doesn't have as much experience with this being her first season. So she's getting stuck in and making sure that she's got the chops to try and go side to side with a lot of these other drivers. In the meantime, down into turn 1, I think Scalzo was on the defense.
Yeah, that was Knight kind of making a move down in the inside of turn number 1, and Scalzo said, no way, not today, not at least in this lap. So kind of shut the door on him down there in turn number 1. We keep our eyes on this Hoffman versus Unser battle, and I was noticing Spencer Proper is starting to close it in that little bit even more. So if these two females up here start to scrap it out on the racetrack, I have a feeling that number 30 car is going to appear in that rearview mirror very quickly.
I mean, awesome job from Spencer Proper. We were commenting about how he was showing great pace in qualifying as well. Has definitely picked up a bit of speed in these last couple rounds at the end of the season, and even took his first podium of the season back in Watkins Glen. Ooh, this is a good run, though, from Lonnie Unser. Erica is going to be a little bit on the back foot here. Let's see if Lonnie tries to send one down to the apex, coming into turn 10A. As they both find the brake marker, she just is a little bit offline, but she knows she's not quite there.
Oh, but let's see if she continues to just absolutely kill it on these corner exits out of these slow corners. Now, road racing, we always think about you got to get through the corners as fast as possible. However, there's important corners and less important corners. Turn number 7, turn number 10B here, they're the slowest corners on the racetrack, and you need to get the launch out of the corner. If you can get a better launch and drive out, plain and simple, that car behind you cannot catch you.
A lot of curb there for Erica coming through turn 3. But that may have upset the car a little bit, because look at how close Lonnie Unser is now. Just no place to go by coming through the S's, at least at this time around. She'll stick with that number 21, trying her hardest to continue to lay the pressure on. She didn't get her to falter yesterday. What can she do today?
I think that she just needs to kind of present the car maybe in some areas that are passing opportunities, even if you're not close enough. Remember, Erica Hoffman has been incredibly respectful in terms of leaving racing room. So this is more of me as a cutthroat competitor. If I can get her to maybe open the door on one corner, even if it's not for a pass, it might put her on the back foot going to the next corner as well.
Well, looks like we got another overtake a little bit farther back. So that's coming up through turn 6 and into 7. That was Roland Crines on Reggie Tartaglione. Roland now up into 5th in the Masters class with that move. And we'll switch right back to the battle for P2 in the Pro-Am once again. Erica, again, looking very good here at the end of the lap and just running away.
Also want to point out our 2 leaders. Grant has caught Hansen quite a bit. That last lap, he was 0.6 of a second faster. So Grant is definitely feeling it today.
Interesting. That's about to get very fun up at the front. And again, no championship for either of them to worry about. So that'll just be a straight bare-knuckle fight between the pair of them to try and see who can get the overall win in this race. We'll head towards turn 6 once again. Very undulating track here along this portion before it heads uphill into 7. Spencer still kind of hovering in the background, proper, trying to keep the pair of them honest.
The run out onto the back straightaway looks very, very familiar. That number 21 car just able to put the throttle down and accelerate away from Unser back there. So she just has to focus on that brake marker while Lonnie has to focus on being super aggressive to try to eat up some of that track position that she might have lost down the straightaway. And you see both of the noses of the car really dive down into the track. Both of these drivers hard on that brake pedal pressure.
They're not losing too much time to Grant either. It's about 4 seconds right now between themselves and P2 overall. But if they start to fight, they'll obviously lose a lot more time up there. So I wonder if they're trying not to waste anything at this stage, although it is less than 5 minutes plus a lap to go. So time is starting to run out. Where do we see Lonnie Unser try to once again get herself involved and get side by side with Hoffman? You mentioned, Joey, that we saw her try to make a few moves. I wonder if we're going to see those start to appear since she'll know that the clock is close to the end.
Ooh, both of them really far out on that exit at turn number 5. I actually think that Unser might have lifted just a touch, but Hoffman was almost out of shape as well, so it was kind of a wash for both of them, not really lost in any terms of ground in the fight, but maybe a little bit to that second place overall. So you mentioned 5 minutes to go. This is kind of the time that Jens Hansen, I think he's just like, come on, let's hurry up for this 5 minutes, because between Watkins Glen and also yesterday, I think the last 5 minutes of his race are his nemesis.
He's been a little bit snake bit with late race stuff when he's firmly in control of the race. So yeah, I don't know how superstitious he is, but he'll probably be glad to see this one come away a little bit more normal than usual. We're on board with Lonnie now, and the distance much greater than we've seen earlier in this race. A great response from Hoffman to really put her foot down.
Yeah, and I was just looking, I thought it was maybe sector 2, and yeah, Lonnie was definitely about 0.3 slower in sector number 2 that last time by, so that's kind of that turn 5 area. This is turn 3 up at the top of the hill, and look at how fast they are going down through the S's. Already 100 miles an hour on entry, back to throttle on the commitment, nearly 120 miles an hour before you have to slow the car down, and these are those exit curbs, and you see the number 4 car much more gentle.
Looking back, looks like Scalzo with David Grant. Oh, so David Grant overtook Cody Knight. When did that happen? That was for 5th position in the Pro-Ams. So we had missed a little bit of an overtake there. David having a very good day, as I think we saw him make a couple moves a little bit earlier on in this race. And we know Scalzo can be really fast, so this is impressive.
Very impressive, and Scalzo maybe a little bit wiggly coming out of turn number 7, so this might give Grant that opportunity Here he is in the slipstream down the back straightaway, approaching 150, now approaching 160 miles an hour as we bend down towards the brake zone. Grant on the inside, Scalzo on the outside. Look at how confident that 29 is on the brakes, makes the apex. Nice pass.
Yeah, David Grant gets a tip of the hat from me for the way he's been running this race. And that doesn't improve his class position, but 6th overall is not too shabby for someone who is parachuting into this race. Unfortunately for him, it looks like Proper's about 5.5 seconds ahead, so I don't think he's going to be catching him here. As we watch this battle for P2, Ashley, I've been keeping an eye on Grant and Hansen. And I kind of wonder if Jens's team has been in communication with him, because suddenly he's no longer being beat on pace.
Yeah, Jens definitely put the hammer down these last couple of laps. But, yeah, bringing it back to this battle for P2, Lonnie reeled Erica right back in. And actually that last lap I saw she had purple sector 3. So Lonnie's definitely trying to adapt to her car and to the track right now and trying to make the most of it. I mean, there's a minute left and 1 lap, so if she's going to make a move, it's going to have to be soon.
Interesting. Okay, so Lonnie's still got a little bit of speed in it. She's just struggling to find a way by. Probably knows that. Wonder if she's saved the tires a bit. Could try and make a final push here. Now, for those that aren't familiar with the Porsche Sprint Challenge Series, they do this as a +1 instead of a typical timed lap. And in fact, our leaders just went by with 45 seconds left. So normally you would expect this to be the white flag lap. No, this is 2 to go. When the clock hits 0, that is the time that they get the white flag and are told it's 1 lap left.
So basically our leaders, everybody out here, 2 laps remaining is what we've got in terms of that time left. We'll see if this battle for second place is going to erupt. Oh, that was a little bit of a change of direction out of that 21. That can be a little bit of a nervous moment when you're behind the wheel, because turn number 3, when you jump that apex curb, if it doesn't land properly, it can definitely get out of shape from you. But it certainly seems like Erica Hoffman is plenty comfortable with the car that's sliding around underneath her.
No doubt the heart rate of Unser going up like a predator seeing a potential wounded prey out there. She's going to want to try and pounce as soon as there's mistakes like that. If she can just get another little slip up out of the 21, she could maybe try and get through. There is not much between them in the way that this race has gone, with the way that this weekend has gone. They've looked so close on pace to one another. And Lonnie Unser will not want to finish 3rd once again. As she comes down into the braking of 10A, she isn't there this time, but our leaders are just coming up to the white flag right now.
Yeah, Jens Hansen takes that white flag across start finish, so 1 lap to go for our leaders, and now here comes the 21 as well as the 4. They'll get the white flag, and once again, Hoffman is just absolutely killer on these slow corner exits.
Last Cayman race of the whole season here in 2025. Whatever you've got left in the tank, you got to use it now. Lonnie Unser's going to know that. Hoffman is going to try and put on the best defense possible. She had already shown she can do that yesterday to try and hold on to this 2nd place and add to her tally of podium finishes this season. Up through the S's section once again and over the crest of turn 5. She'll hold on to that 3rd place once again.
Let's see about this run through turn number 6 and turn number 7. I feel like if Unser's got anything for Hoffman here, it's got to come out of this corner exit of turn number 7. The 21 car has just absolutely nailed it all weekend long, and if anything, actually, Unser might be a little bit closer this time.
I think Unser finally figured out that turn 7 exit. She's so much closer behind that number 21 machine as we watched our leader, Jens Hansen, round the final chicane. There was a brief moment where it looked like maybe he had to be concerned about Keith Grant for the overall, but he said, not a chance. I have got this under control. I will return to the top step and take victory here at Road Atlanta. Behind him, Keith Grant, back-to-back wins, and then not far behind, Hoffman will hold on to that 2nd place with Unser on the podium.
Nicely done from all of our top drivers here. The Pro-Am to Hansen and Keith Grant collecting that mass class victory. I see Elaine Scalzo crossing the line here. He is 2nd in your Masters class, as well as Buffkin coming through here, rounding out that podium.
In fact, this is Gary Buffkin's very first podium in the last race of the season.
Nice.
He finally got that one done after a number of top fives. Well done to Gary. And the rest of them kind of trickle their way through here. What was another eventful race in the Caymans. We'll let more cross here before we start reading through our results. Tartaglione at a 12th place, but 6th in class. Rizzo going to be able to bring it to the last flag along with Trollinger and Checky. Jens Hansen is winner once again, along with unofficially your champion. Keith Grant takes back-to-back wins in sort of one-off weekend for himself in number 40, with Erica Hoffman backing up yesterday's win with a P2. And Lonnie Unser with another podium there in the Pro-Am. Spencer was 5th overall. And then you've got David Grant in 6th. Elaine Scalzo, as we said, 2nd in the Masters category, with Knight in behind him in 8th. You've got Gary Buffkin with his first podium season in 9th position, finishing their 3rd for the Masters. From there, we'll get the overall. Bill Pelichewski was P10. Roland Crines was 11th. And Reggie Tartaglione was 12th. Joe Rizzo 13th. Rob Scher in the 14th position. Checky 15th. And Bill Finnick, a DNF, in 16th. We're not done yet. We have podium ceremonies coming away here for the Cayman Series.
It's hard to contain your excitement when you get something you've really wanted. Like the gold standard in automotive protection, WeatherTech floor liners. With deep sculpted channels and laser measured for total protection in the front, back, and even up the sides.
Dad, you're going viral.
What? WeatherTech me.
So don't be shy, enjoy. Order your premium American-made products at WeatherTech.com.